Have you ever felt I should be doing this, but I don't feel like it? So whatever distraction comes your way, maybe it's playing a game or checking email or even watching a program, or the next thing you know, an hour has gone by and you still haven't done what you set out to do. Hi, I'm Mary Bourne, traditional naturopath, and I love sharing natural remedies with people for better health. Natural remedies have been used on people for hundreds and maybe even thousands of years, and they have stayed with us because they work. This month of October, we've been discussing brain health. We've talked about neuroplasticity, which is creating detours in the brain. We've talked about neurogenesis, which is the creation of new brain cells. Today, I want to talk about dopamine. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter, and it is involved in the feeling of joy or the ability to experience joy. Lack of insight is a depletion of dopamine. Imbalances, lack of self-awareness, digestive problems, poor diet. They can be expressed as ADHD, sometimes Tourette's, sometimes Parkinson's, and it's also involved in addiction. Since pain is a huge part of Americans getting older, it is no wonder we have a serious epidemic of opioid addiction. We need better answers to our health problems. We are not being told the truth. We need to start being responsible for the abuse we've shown our bodies. What we eat does matter. I can remember for years going to the doctor and, food doesn't matter, eat whatever you want. And then cholesterol medications came along and all of a sudden fats were bad. So they demonized fats, they demonized salt, and really what they should have demonized was sugar. But the sugar lobbyists were very strong, and therefore none of us realized the impact that sugar would have on our health. And then came along the fake sugars and all of the chemicals involved in that and how they've disrupted our health. So not only do we need to pay attention to healthy eating, we also need to pay attention to healthy attitudes, sleep, water, exercise, meditation, and healthy relationships. In Parkinson's, besides dopamine depletion, there are nerves affected in the area of the brain where the dopamine receptors are located. So making sure you're taking a methyl B, we like this one, that includes B6 and B12 and folate, is helpful, and L-tyrosine. I'll discuss some recommended foods in just a little bit, but you want to take a full spectrum whole food vitamin B supplement to help give the nerves what they need for repair. You can help increase dopamine naturally by several different things. One is make a to-do list, and as soon as you look at that list, your dopamine levels start to rise. So if you divert that energy, it depletes, and then you're back to having to push yourself through whatever it is you want to get done. Whereas if you make a list and you start actively working on that list and making sure you're checking things off, so making the list doable, create increments of time that are digestible, that you can actually see yourself accomplishing. Don't make a to-do list that's going to take you forever, like clean the garage. Oh my goodness, you're stuck in a hole when you do that. So you clean the garage. I'm going to spend a half hour on cleaning the garage. And when that half hour is, you're done, you check that off your list, You can put it on your list again for tomorrow, but it's that feeling of accomplishment that increases the dopamine levels in your brain. So I like to use the essential oil Inspire blend. So when I'm going to do something, making my list, I will diffuse or spray a little bit of Inspire blend. It's wonderful. It's full of lovely citrusy blends and mints and warm things like cinnamon and ginger, and so it's just very motivating. So the other thing that you can do is get with somebody to do some exercise. Now, it's been well founded that movement, exercise, increases the neurotransmitters and dopamine along with it, and it's just healthier for the brain. It gets oxygen up into the brain. My neighbor and I have started a Wednesday Tai Chi class, and that's been wonderful. Walking, dancing, anything that you can get yourself the blood moving and maybe a little perspiration going will help to raise dopamine levels. Then, in contrast with movement and exercise, is meditation. There's been many studies that show that relaxation and meditation helps to calm the brain and to set it in a state of regeneration. So deep diaphragmatic breathing is helpful. So things like yoga and the Tai Chi are involved in breathing. Singing is also involved in breathing. So things that help you increase your breathing. Now you want to make sure you're breathing in through your nose and having the tongue on the top of the roof of the mouth. And that helps connect the different things in the brain. So that's also very helpful. I also love the flower essence Fine Strength, because fine strength helps connect different things. It gives you the energy and the stick-to-itness that is necessary when dopamine levels are low. So you want to take it. It's oral, whereas flower essential oils are usually topical or aromatic. Flower essences are taken internally, and they work energetically to help and support the body. And you can say, as you're taking it, I feel strong and capable. And if it doesn't feel right now, it will. You just stick with it. I feel strong and capable. Or you can say, I have all that I need to accomplish tasks with a desired outcome. It's important for you to have positive affirmations. And this is like doing a check mark. It raises those dopamine levels. Positive attitudes can either make or break your health and happiness. So this is proven time and time again. Look at Louise Hayes and some of these long-standing positive attitude motivational speakers. Being grateful is a great beginning. I find that if you can get into the feeling of being grateful and glad for life itself, for friends, for the gifts that you have, it's just really very, very inspiring. So the topic in my Herbaligram, that's a newsletter I send out each week on Mondays, and about 600 people subscribe to it, and it's free. And if you want it delivered to your inbox, you just send me an email, drmary@bornforhealth.com, and I will be glad to add you to my subscription list. So this week we've talked about amazing beauty, because my husband and I took a little drive and we were admiring all the beautiful trees, the gold, the red, the corals, the oranges, and it was a sunny day, so it was especially beautiful. So if you can admire different things in nature. That also lifts your mood and helps you feel good. This time of the year, people have asked me how come the leaves turn colors, and it's actually chlorophyll leaving the leaves, and then their true colors come out. And you know what? You can be just like that leaf. Instead of being the dull you that you are, you can be that bright, shiny, coral, orange, red, whatever color you want, by just learning a few techniques and raising that dopamine level. They actually drop as we age, and so we do have to create more effort in getting up and going and having that get up and go attitude. So some of the foods that you can eat are farm fresh eggs, and make sure the farmer is not feeding the chickens hormones or anything. You want to have a relationship with those people who feed you. And I love learning about my farmers and what they do and how they treat their animals and how they raise their veggies and fruit. So going to the farmer's market during the summer, well, actually I started early as soon as it opens in April, and I go all the way through, and I'm still visiting them now because apples are in season and all these wonderful fall fruits and that. But some of the food that help increase omega-3 and dopamine and a lot of healthy neurotransmitters are fatty fish. We've been told, don't eat fat, but that was such a lie. And so for 35, 40 years, we've been fat deficient. And so we want to eat things like salmon and mackerel and sardines. But of course, our oceans do have a lot of toxins. You want to make sure that the source is healthy. You can get healthy seaweed. You can get avocados, organic avocados, spinach, bananas, but be careful of the sugar content in bananas. You don't want to eat too many of them. And if you're not a good protein eater, free amino acids is a good source. So it has a lot of wonderful things that will help to build neurotransmitters, and it has magnesium in it. But it's a full spectrum amino acid supplement, and it helps to build better brains and muscles. And the thing is, if you're not digesting well, you need to be taking digestive supplements. And I like food enzymes with my meals and Proactizyme in between my meals to get rid of that protein junk that builds up. And there's Dr. Janelle Sinclair, and she's a well-known dopamine expert, and she recommends to increase L-tyrosine and B vitamins. You need to balance your blood sugar because insulin uptake is important for the brain to utilize dopamine, and that you want to make sure you're taking optimal D3, which means about 4,000 to 6,000 IU a day. Now you want to be tested, and you want that optimal level between 80 and 100. Now I know many doctors will say 40 is adequate, but you don't want to be adequate, you want to be optimal. And so there are wonderful D3 supplements. I take mine is elderberry D3 Defense, and love it. Also, what I take to help with my balancing blood sugar is berberine. Now, berberine will help either low blood sugar or high blood sugar. It's very balancing. And there's lots of studies on berberine and the health effects of taking berberine daily. So getting insulin into the brain is really important. So something will sit on the doorstep. So sort of like you have a visitor and you're chatting through the door, and insulin comes along and it says, hey, why don't we go in the house? So it's insulin helps to get whatever needs to get into the cell. So green tea is another way to increase dopamine. It is well supported. Some of the other things that help, hey Kirk, is L-phenylalanine. It supports dopamine, and that's also included in the free amino acid blend. So the big thing to know is there is hope for brain health, and that more and more natural products are being researched daily. Common sense things of eating a healthy, wholesome diet, staying away from sugar, and taking some whole food nutritional supplements that give your body what it needs to maintain, so you don't gain health by shutting off the warning signals. So pay attention to your body. When it gives you signals, listen to it. Be responsible for your health. The age of beating up your body and going to the doctor are over. It's failed, and it's time to be mature and take responsibility for the things that you put in your body. So I find the best thing to do is find a group of people who are also want to be healthy and check out what they're doing. So stay tuned to these, thanks for the heart, stay tuned to these videos on a weekly basis. Get a bunch of friends together and watch them together. You can use them as a teaching moment. So have the mindset of health. You know, when you watch TV, the most advertised are drugs. And so, you know, especially like news. The media have been bought out by the pharmaceutical industry along with the medical doctors, and they're all in cahoots. And they're not into making you healthy. They're into selling drugs. So the experts are now saying that Alzheimer's disease is 20 years in the making. So by the time you're 25, what you've done all those crazy years during your teens and early 20s, they're going to pay off in the end, and they're not going to pay off to your liking. So everything you do impacts the brain. Just, you know, it's not how you play. It's not winning or losing. It's how you play the game that counts. SAMe is another supplement. Now, it's quite fragile, and so Nature Sunshine packages it in a 30 count enteric coated because it is so fragile. It goes rancid really, really fast, and so which means that it oxidizes. So finding a good source is often difficult. My husband's been using the SAMe for, I would say, going on 15 years now, and it made a tremendous difference in supporting his liver and his mood. He would have times where he just didn't feel like doing anything, and we noticed that's far and few between. Even now, he's past 75. So according to the Federation of American Societies for Experimental Biology, oral SAMe supplementation increased the intracellular concentration of SAMe in the liver and brain approximately 2- and 4-fold, respectively. As adenosyl homocysteine concentrations were significantly elevated by oral SAMe treatment in the brain, but were not affected in the liver tissue. For whole brain tissue, SAMe was markedly increased in the concentration of dopamine and norepinephrine 15-fold and 50%, respectively, whereas it did not have a statistically significant impact on serotonin concentrations. Therefore, SAMe administration was without effect on the concentrations of the transporters for dopamine, norepinephrine, and serotonin. Therefore, oral daily provision of SAMe to rats, because that's what they do, petri dishes and rats, at a dosage recommended for humans, dramatically increased the intracellular concentrations of specific neurotransmitters, dopamine in particular. And the study in rats was anecdotally shown to be effective for humans. Now, you know, common sense again. So if you're taking SAMe and you're feeling over anxious, then Sammy isn't the right thing for you. Because what it should do is increase your feelings of, wow, I want to do stuff, but not feel anxious about it. Now we know alcohol kills brain cells. Smoking kills brain cells, and sugar inflames and kills brain cells. So do your research. How important is your brain to me? For me, my brain is me. So here are some action steps. Do brain healthy eating and positive thinking by being grateful every single day, every single hour, and if you can, every single minute. Take brain-specific supplements and use essential oils and flower essence remedies because remember, it's energetic. These are going to awaken the brain and support better brain connections. Share what you've learned. Recommend these videos to your friends so that other people can have hope for better brain health. And keep focusing on gratitude. Be thankful for the people and gifts of nature and the flowers and all the joy around you. Thank you for viewing. Until next week, this is Dr. Mary for The Health of It.